What's going on, everybody? Rasati out here in Singapore, and thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast. Now, the last episode, I actually was talking about Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction. I had just kind of gotten a grasp on what she means by getting back into the vortex, how to vibrationally align to what it is that you want, and most of that has to do with the feeling of having what you already want. Sometimes it's easy to recall because you've had it once before in your life sometime, and you're able to take yourself back to that memory and how you felt, right? And sometimes you don't know what it would feel like because you've never had it before, but you're still trying to attract it, right? So in that case, I taught you about using TV. To be able to get into that same zone as one of the characters that is about to get whatever that you are also hoping to receive, you're hoping to allow into your life. So all of that to say that the vibrations are very, very important, and they all hinge on the feeling of having what you want. So it was hard for me to grasp. I get it sometimes, and sometimes I don't get it. I don't got it. I don't know. But I struggle a little bit. So I wanted to kind of go over that a little bit, mostly because it's almost like putting a pin in an idea for me, myself. So this is part of what that podcast is. The podcast actually helps me to share ideas that I've rediscovered, as well as remind myself that they exist, that there's another way to do these things, because we tend to fall into our own habits, right? My own favorite habits, my own favorite comfort zones. And when I fall into the comfort zone, I tend to shrink a little bit and don't do as much. I'm not as inspired, but I feel comfortable, so I stay there for a little bit. And it's the lull, the ebb and flow of my journey in general. So with regard to the last episode about getting to vibrational alignment, I remember thinking, you know what? There is an aspect of this that's really, really hard though, because when you're by yourself, okay, you can, quiet the noise a little bit and get into that zone, right? But when you're in front of people, like perhaps let's say, let me take you back to when I started my business, right? I told a few people, I didn't tell everybody, I didn't tell the people that were going to stop me in my tracks. I told a couple of people. And as I told a couple of people, I started joining groups and joining coaching programs, trying to get a feel for what it is that I needed to do, what was necessary at the time. How do I set this thing up? Like, I don't even know. And so when I started telling people what I did, it was hard for me to put it into words because I had this feeling inside and I couldn't explain it so well. It wasn't an elevator pitch yet. I hadn't gotten the key words down or whatever. But I remember when it was strangers, it wasn't so bad because I didn't care what they think. But when I was trying to explain it to my brother, explain it to my mother, explain it to a couple of really, really good friends, it was almost like they were poking holes in my theory, right? So, it's a natural thing. They're scared. They think I'm going to fail. They don't know if this is going to be a valid idea or what, because I've never talked about this stuff before. So here I was trying to discuss this stuff, and I realized that for everybody else, not just for me, when you're trying to tell somebody what you want, the immediate response usually is, oh no, but you can't have that. Oh no, but you're not old enough. Oh no, that's not appropriate for your place. No, you can't reach that far. No, you got to do it the right way. You got to go through the right channels. You got to, let me give you a really great example. There was a time where my younger brother wanted to go into the Air Force. He was just finished up high school. He wanted to go straight into the Air Force and kind of work through the ranks. Legitimate, totally respectable. I thought it was a great idea. And of course, we hyped him up and I was like, no, you got to go tell dad though, because you can't go off and sign up for the Air Force without dad's permission. So we told him to go tell dad, and dad flipped out. He was like, no, you are not going into the Air Force as a pariah. Pariah means like a stray dog. You need to go through college first, get your rank as an officer, and then go into the Air Force. But see, my brother's mind, it was different. He didn't want to go in as an officer where he could look down on people. He wanted to go in as a grunt. He wanted to go in as a pariah. He wanted to go in from the bottom and work his way to the top because he felt like then he would have that camaraderie. He would have earned everyone's respect. He would be going into it from, his own batch rather than coming into it like we always do when we move schools, right? We come in as the new kid and we come in like, we know everything because we've been taught everything and we're coming in to see what your standard is and we try to fit in or whatever. And chances are we've done a little extra homework and we're a little bit ahead of where you guys are. So that means what? Immediately everybody's going to band together against you because you make them look bad, right? So this is what my brother's rationale was. But the immediate thing for my dad was to put him down, to put him back in his place, to tell him his dreams were shit, that he was completely crazy. He was not going to do this way. He had to go through college first. And with that one person's influence, because it is quite a big personality and quite overbearing, he kind of dropped his dream. Whereas if he had no opposition, if there was no resistance to his dream, he would have gone all out. He would have tried from the beginning. He would have tried his idea the way he thought fit, and he would have figured out if it worked or didn't work. It's simple as that, right? Either you try it and it works, or you try it and it don't, and then you adjust and you keep trying, right? Isn't that what life is about? Anyway, so in that regard, he was conned out of doing this one thing that he really, really had his heart set on. But think about this. How much would he have had to hype himself up? Would he have had to garner support from me and my other brother? I mean, for him to open his mouth and say this thing that he's scared that people will think he's crazy for, he did it so many times with us, and he felt good about it. He felt calm. He felt sensible and proud of his decision, and then only to have it knocked back out of him, literally knocked back out of him, because one person did not feel the same way. But think about it in a different context. I remember when I was married and I had been let go of my second job. It was the second time we'd gone through a recession, right? And a lot of companies in the area were downsizing. That's that terrible word, downsizing. Anyway, I got a family of 5 to feed. I had just given birth to baby girl. She was not even a year old yet. And I'm over here trying to figure out, well, how the hell am I going to do this? So I thought, all right, I have a couple $100 in savings, whatever. Maybe I can try something different. And of course, lucky for me, I was in the U.S. The U.S. is a lot easier when it comes to, having things shipped to you, having things done for you. There's so many businesses that are capable of helping you out. So I was looking at this product called Vistaprint. Vistaprint is in every country, I think now, and it's the go-to place to get your business cards done if you want to get business cards done, right? So I thought, wow, okay, let's do this. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to start doing t-shirts or something. I don't know. I'm going to try something. And I went to go tell my husband. I thought, you know what? I have some pretty good ideas. I've been watching brands for a long time now. I think I have an idea of what works and what doesn't work. Let me just, I don't know, try it. Oh yeah, that was an amazing conversation. Let me tell you. So I sat there and I told him, I felt stupid anyway because he is this great club owner, the best salesperson in the universe, or so he says, legend in his own mind. But I mean, he has a lot of street credibility and he has a lot of street sense. So he's run businesses, he's, opened up stores, he's opened up clubs, he's done all this stuff. And I thought, okay, let me just ask him. I mean, he's my husband, right? I could ask him. And I told him, look, I want to do t-shirts. I think it'd be small, it would be low cost. And if people don't like it, it's easy for me to change and switch gears. I can redesign stuff. It would be no problem really, because I think I could do it. Oh, he sat there and looked at me like I was completely insane. And he told me, well, what do you know about drawing? Can you draw? I was like, no, I can't draw. And he was like, well, what do you know about design? Can you design? I was like, no, I can't design. He was like, well, what kind of ideas do you have? And I was like, I have some ideas. Let me show you the ideas. He was like, babe, don't even, look, you're going to waste a bunch of money and you're not going to get to where you need to be. And you know what? You need a lot of backing. You need a fan base. Do you have a fan base? I was like, no, because you're paranoid. Why would I have a fan base? And he was like, well, don't. This is dumb. Don't do this. And so that idea was knocked out of me. And I thought, wow, you know what? I'm scraping the barrel here. I'm trying really hard to figure out what it is that I could possibly offer that I could sell as a product, because we need money. We need to eat, people. Come on. And I sat there looking at him like, wow, okay, you're not even going to hear me out. You want to build a gym in the middle of nowhere. You want to become a fitness trainer. And I'm over here like, all right, what do you need to do? You need certifications? All right, well, I enrolled you into a certification course, which, by the way, I gave him for Christmas, like, I don't know how many years ago, and I'm pretty sure he still hasn't done it. It was fully paid for. He didn't have to do nothing but attend the damn class. But this is the thing. You can believe in something so much, but the minute you go and ask people or tell people what it is that you're doing, they have the potential to convince you otherwise, that you're completely insane, this is not going to work, and why would you even do that? Why would you take the risk? You're going to ruin your children's lives. You don't have like a steady paycheck. How are you going to eat? Like, I don't understand. Well, guess what? A steady paycheck, my steady paycheck, twice in my life was not so steady. Okay? They have the power to get rid of you whenever they feel like. So it doesn't matter how irreplaceable you become, because trust me, the first time I was laid off, I was running 5 departments and they found a way. Okay. And the second time I was laid off, I had walked through the ranks of being a temporary contractor all the way up to the senior data analyst and helped them through a SAP launch, which I hadn't even seen the program before. I didn't know what the hell SAP was, but I learned fast enough where I could actually teach the rest of the team. And I remember being awake for 3 days to make sure everybody on property was fully trained. So I went from being the it girl in both situations to being not girl. You can't, we don't need you. So I know how fleeting the rat race can be. And it's not like back in the day where you could work for Pepsi for 45 years and then retire. No, it's not like that no more. Okay. So I had to look out for myself, and I was determined not to be in a situation where I wasn't in control of my money anymore, where I had to depend on somebody else to pay me. Right. So I had this idea. I was going to do t-shirts, and it was kind of knocked out of me. And then I had this idea. I was going to do Amway, and guess what? It was knocked out of me, because there's a different energy when people support you and a different energy when people don't even want to get involved. So when I see people say, we should have housewarming parties, but for businesses so that people can show their support, I get it, because I know what it's like to say, hey, you know what? I love this product. I use it all the time. Y'all should try it. And people will try it. Versus, hey, I opened my own store. I sell this product. Y'all should try it. They're like, oh God, here she comes, begging for money. So there is this weird phenomenon that takes place. You can build yourself up so high and believe in everything that you have, every skill set that you've accumulated along the way, how big your dream is, how fantastic it's going to be. And then you open your mouth and tell somebody. And that potential to continue in that same path, hold that same feeling, kind of attract the wealth that you know is something you deserve, right? Because you've worked for it. That potential kind of dissipates because people with their mouths will talk shit and have you convinced otherwise. Because all of a sudden now you have to defend your position. You have to convince someone else that it is what you think it is. And in the process of convincing people, the doubt starts. And what I've learned over the years is I don't convince people no more. I'm not going to go out there and sell you on my product. I'm going to tell you the product's there. I'm going to tell you what it does. I'm going to tell you I feel pretty good about it. If there are people who have used the product and they are happy with the product, they're going to tell you, hey, you know what? She's pretty good, yo. She's different from everybody else. I like how she does things. I understood. It helped me. But I'm not about to go and convince you that, you know what, the end of the world is coming. You better get this done before the end of the world is coming. I'm not a snake oil salesman. Okay? Hold it. Okay? Watch this. I'm not a timeshare salesman. I'm not going to convince you that vacations for your family at the same resorts every year to pay what looks like a mortgage payment for vacations every year is what you need to do to show your family you care. I'm not using those words. I'm not doing that for you. I'm not doing it. That's not how I feel about my product. I know that you constantly fight with people. It's just human nature. You're going to fight with people. You're going to be in resistance to some people. You're going to be in opposition to some people because everybody has their own mind, right? Free will and all of that. But I'm not going to convince you that I can solve all your problems because I can't solve all your problems. I'm not here to solve your problems. I'm here to show you that it's possible to solve your problems. And I'm going to tell you what I know as far as strategy. And then you got to go do the work. So I'm not here to sell you some big lofty dream. No pipe dreams, right? I'm not talking about fantasy land. I'm talking about real hard work. Actual conversations that are going to probably burn a little bit. But I know I can be done. I know I can get you to where you need to be. If you're willing to change a couple things, right? That's part of the transformation. You're the one who transforms. And then your reality shifts in accordance. But back to this alignment, attraction. Something strange happens when you open your mouth to go tell people. To convince people that, yeah, you're right. I'm right. When you have to convince someone that you're right, it takes a lot of energy, first of all. And then you tend to feel defeated if they're stubborn and don't want to listen to you. So what's the best thing you can do for your law of attraction side of this? When you get to a place where you really fully believe, work on the product, work on the service, put it out there for everyone to see. People want to ask you, oh my God, are you sure this is going to work? And they want to poke holes full of everything. You allow them. Yep, I understand your concerns. Yep, that's a possibility, absolutely. But are you willing to try it? If you want to try it, let me know. Because I know it works. And I know people who have tried it who know it works. So I'm not here to convince you that it works. I'm here to tell you that it is available and it is an option for you. And then after that, it's totally on you if you want to try it or not. Something happens when you stop explaining yourself, justifying yourself, trying to prove that you are right, that you are legitimately allowed to be excited about the work you're about to do. But guess what? Not everybody's going to be happy for you. Not everybody is going to understand. It's not their job to understand. It's your job to keep the vibration, though. So, rather than convince people that your dream is real, rather than ask people permission to support you, support yourself, believe. Believe that it is everything that you really think that it is. Stay in that belief. Stay in that excitement. When you get 5-year-olds around you and they create these magnificent pieces of box art because they've cut everything up and they've pasted everything together and used tape and staples and all kinds of stuff, and they bring it to you and they're like, oh my God, look what I made. This is so amazing. You have no choice but to catch that vibe from them because they're so excited. And they're not asking you if you like it or not. They're telling you, oh my God, look at this. And then look, this has this feature too. And oh my gosh, if you turn it upside down, it looks like this. This is amazing. I love it. And it is that same 5-year-old level, full confidence. They don't care if you like it or not. I like it. That's going to get you to where you need to be. That level of excitement. So if you tell people what you're excited about, they catch that vibe. When you catch fire with your dreams, people will come from all around to watch you burn because you're drawing attention to yourself. You're letting people know, hey, I exist and I'm excited about why I exist because guess what? Look, I made this thing and it's amazing. And I can't wait for you to find that level of confidence because it doesn't come from outside of you. Hell no. It comes from inside of you. It comes from inside your imagination where you are excited, where you figured something out and you can't wait to share it with people. That excitement. You hear what I'm saying? So, once you master the last podcast episode of feeling like it's done rather than feeling like, oh my God, I don't have it yet. Oh my God, I don't have it yet. And then you figure out what it is that you want. And you are so confident and you are so excited about it all the time. The universe has no choice but to deliver. Because if you can hold that feeling for 17 seconds every so often, you keep that vibration going, that magnetic pull going. The universe has no choice but to deliver. So I hope this makes sense, you guys. It's really easy to knock the wind out of somebody else. It's really easy to like poke holes in somebody else's theory. It's hard work to come up with a theory in the first place and to believe that it works. And then to put in the work to prove that it works. Test it. You know what I'm saying? So once you hit that groove, once you, the sweet spot on a baseball bat, once you hit the sweet spot, once you find the sweet spot, stay there as long as you can. Keep it to yourself. Enjoy it. Relish it. Speak from that place. And everything else has no choice but to fall into alignment. I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment below and I will get to you as soon as I can. But in the meantime, find that sweet spot because that's where all the magic happens. I love you guys. I'll catch you later. Bye.